In the beginning, it seemed like a story of royalty. A king's pride, a queen's removal, an orphan rising from obscurity to wear a crown. Esther went from hidden to chosen, from exile to queen of Persia. It looked like favor, it looked like destiny fulfilled. But beyond the palace walls, beyond the celebration and the crown, something darker was rising. A whisper in the shadows, a prideful heart hungry for power, a hatred that would threaten an entire nation. The crown was never the end of the story. It was only the beginning. Because sometimes God elevates you not for comfort, but for confrontation. This is where the story shifts from favor to faith under pressure. The palace of Susa was never truly silent. Behind carved doors and towering columns, power whispered. And at the king's gate, where officials gathered and royal matters were discussed, Mordecai sat faithfully each day. He watched. He listened. He remembered who he was. One afternoon, as servants moved in and out of the palace courts, Mordecai overheard something chilling. Two of the king's officers, Bigthan and Teresh, guards of the royal doorway, were angry. Their voices were low, bitter. They spoke of laying hands on King Ahasuerus. A plot, an assassination. Mordecai did not hesitate. He sent word to Queen Esther. Esther told the king, and she honored Mordecai by giving his name. The matter was investigated. It was found to be true. The conspirators were executed, and the deed was recorded in the royal chronicles. Then life moved on. No parade, no reward, no recognition, just ink on parchment. But heaven had recorded it too. And what is written is never forgotten. Time passed, and in the shifting politics of Persia, a new name rose above the others. Haman the Agagite. The king elevated him above all the princes. He was given authority, honor, influence. And wherever he walked, officials bowed low before him. All except one. Mordecai, he would not kneel. He would not bow, not out of rebellion, not out of pride, but because his loyalty belonged first to the God of Israel. Day after day they asked him, "Why do you transgress the king's command?" But Mordecai stood firm. And when Haman noticed, his pride ignited into fury. It was not enough to punish one man. Haman learned that Mordecai was a Jew, and his hatred grew beyond reason. He would not destroy Mordecai alone. He would destroy every Jew in the empire. Haman cast lots, the pur, to determine the day. The lot fell to the 12th month. He approached the king carefully, cleverly. "There is a certain people scattered throughout your provinces," he said. "Their laws are different. They do not keep the king's laws. It is not fitting to let them remain." He offered silver into the king's treasury. And the king, without investigation, without question, removed his signet ring and handed it to Haman. The decree was written, sealed, sent to 127 provinces. On a single appointed day, men, women, and children of the Jewish people were to be destroyed. The city of Susa was thrown into confusion. And when Mordecai heard, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and cried aloud in the streets. The message reached Esther, but inside the palace she had heard nothing. Mordecai sent word, "Do not think that because you are in the king's house you will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief will arise from another place. but you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Those words pierced her heart. To approach the king unsummoned meant death, unless he extended the golden scepter. For 30 days she had not been called. Silence meant safety. But silence also meant surrender. Esther sent back her answer, "Gather all the Jews in Susa, fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days. I and my maidens will fast likewise. And then I will go to the king. And if I perish, I perish." The decree has been signed, the date has been set. A nation trembles, a queen prepares. Pride believes it has won, but providence is still at work. The story is not over. In the next part, everything changes.